Hello everybody, I'm Chrysantheme, welcome back to Might and Magic 6. Last episode we did some traveling around across the globe, did some quests and powered up a bit, and I actually remembered that we forgot to do something. If you remember, we actually visited the Fountain of Magic as well, and we didn't actually turn that in. So what we can do now is just quickly go to Mist. There's a ship going to Mist from Castle Ironfist as well. So we're going to just pay a visit to Albert here and get our first promotion quest done, basically. So now I have a wizard instead of a sorcerer. Here's how promotion quests work. You get a quest, when you finish it, you get your class promotion. It doesn't do anything much in this game, apart from leveling your base stats up a bit. And I don't mean like your statistics, but you do get more health and spell points per level. Hence why I have a seemingly lower amount of hit points and spell points here. And that was my cat, if anybody had heard that. You're probably going to be hearing from them quite a lot, because one of my cats always nags me when, for example, she's trying to rest and I'm, talking to somebody. She's always like, me, 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 me. So yeah. It's been a good day today. Had an exam. Went good. It was good. But anyway, that's what we wanted to do now, and we can actually train to level 15. Oh yeah, and another thing happened. I always seem to forget to, to save my gameplay after each recording session. Thank God, autosaves exist in this game. But I had to do some quick backtracking because of, I basically forgot to save at the point where I ended the last record. So, but anyway, let's get to work. So the first thing we've cleared in terms of dungeons was the Shadow Guild hideout. It was right here. Now what we have left is either the Abandoned Temple, that's here, or I think it's the Dragoon's Caverns. And I actually cannot decide what to go with first. Let's just check some. Oh yeah, I still need a piercing bow. I knew I forgot something. Do you have any piercing bows? You do not. Wow, you have a really bad selection this time. There are better bows you can get in the game, but the best bow you can get in Castle Ironfist is the piercing bow. So unfortunately, he doesn't have it. Now, fine blades. Can I find an axe? Probably not, because you sell swords only. I'm fine with that. I did get a plate armor for Roderick, which I, didn't have because I accidentally forgot to save my game. But I did get one, and it actually had regeneration on it. So I bought it, even though it was 1000 value more. But regenerates hit points over time is very good. It's a pretty slow increase. I think it's like 1 hit point per 3 minutes or 5 minutes of gameplay. In-game time, I mean, not gameplay, which is about 5 seconds of gameplay. But it's worth it, because if you don't have mana and you just want to heal up a bit, you can just rest and wait for, let's say, an hour, and you'll get like 20 hit points back. So it's good. Let me do some inventory management. And I think I'm actually going to start with the temple. So in New Circle, we were at the abandoned Temple of Baa. Well, this is the Temple of Baa. We won't be meeting too many Baa people here, though. We will be meeting a lot of undead, though. Now this is a sort of, it's a good, it's actually a good dungeon to come into even earlier than I did just now, but usually that doesn't happen. It's good to come here, for example, if you need some quick experience, because there are 4 rooms off to the sides. This is one of them that are basically filled with, spiders and some skeletons, which aren't too tough. They're probably, I'd say, somewhere around the thug and thief level in terms of combat abilities. No, just in general. Not too tough though. And then there we have spiders, as you can see. We already met them. They're quite weak. And the only new quote-unquote monster type we're going to meet here is the, I think it's the priests of Baa, who are ranged, unfortunately, and are fairly tough, but they don't deal a, well, I got poisoned again, nice. They don't deal too much damage, so not really a problem. Let me just see, does my cleric have, of course I don't. Now that was one crucial spell that I forgot to buy in Castle Ironfist, and I'm likely going to backtrack and get it, hopefully. It's the Cure Poison spell. Can't believe I forgot about that, because it's one of the most important spells. Because, well, it cures poison. I don't want to go back every single time I get poisoned, in case I don't have, you know, well, potions. But yeah, right now the gameplay is going to be pretty boring, because what I want to do is, when I go into a dungeon, I want to clear it out as much as possible. Because experience is experience, even if you just get, you know, like 1,000, 2,000. It's always worth it, in my opinion. And since I have learning and the instructor and the scholar, I get a fairly large bonus to my experience gained as well, without basically investing anything in it, apart from some money, which is... Oh, I keep saying this, but money is really not a problem in this game. But yeah, this is probably going to be a 2 or maybe a 3 episode long dungeon. Ouch. Because it's fairly expansive, but also quite filled with mobs, especially in certain areas. But what we actually want to do here is, if you remember a couple of well, not a couple of episodes, more like pretty much second or third episode we were making when we were actually playing the game. I actually got another quest from the Nisorpigal Town Hall, which involved going after a stolen, I think it's called a chime of harmony. And this is where we'll find it. I actually couldn't find it when I was, you know, like younger, because I didn't know that there was a secret door that you have to access and everything, but this game can be fairly obscure with such things. And we do have some barrels here. We have a, well, no, it's called a magical brew. In these cauldrons, similarly to barrels, you have sort of liquids that increase your magic resistances. Now, I'm not sure if there's any way to tell which resistance you'll get in this game. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drink from it. I'm not even sure who I should drink it with. You know what? Cleric. So I got 2 magic resistance permanent, which isn't much. I'm not exactly sure how that actually translates into your magic resistance, but you know, in general, the bigger number you have, the better it is. So let me just cast Torchlight again. Now what I'm gonna do now is just have a quick hop back to Castle Ironfist, try to get Cure Poison. Usually I just try to power through it without, but usually I don't have this party set up. But like I said, this is a good party for beginners. Because you basically have everything covered, and you have, you know, like backup basic spellcasters. So it's a good thing. So what we're looking for again is the Guild of Body. We have protection for poison. We have harm and cure poison. Excellent. So here's how Cure X spells work. Basically, they only work if you are either poison, disease, or whatever the debuff you're trying to heal is, less than a certain amount of time. Now, since we have expert body magic on our cleric, it works if we're poisoned less than 1 hour per point of skill, which right now I think we should still be safe. Yeah, there we go. So now that we're healed, we can actually go back and basically finish the dungeon. Now the only other debuff we're going to meet there is Curse, that is inflicted by, I think, Skeleton Lords, which I know Skeleton Lord sounds awesome, but they're really just, you know, really tall red skeletons with a sword, and they really look quite unimpressive. But yeah, it's a good thing to have these spells. Just had a quick rest there. It's a good thing to have these spells so you don't have to backtrack every single time, but be sure to heal yourself before actually resting, because if you rest and then try to heal, you won't be able to heal anything. You'll have to either use a potion or you will have to visit a healer or a temple, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, this is quite an expansive dungeon in terms of, you know, the mobs that are here and how many things there are to kill here. We have some skeletons. As you can see, they're none too tough. These are the normal skeletons. They're white. Then you have the skeleton knights. Oh my god, I got poisoned again. It's a good thing I have cure poison though. Then you have sort of, well, I call them urine color because they're slightly, oh, there we go, a skeleton lord. You have skeleton knights, they're slightly urine in color, sort of yellowish, greenish, brown, I guess. You'll see them soon. And you have the skeleton lords that we just seen, but they're not actually very tough. They do have, well, I would say a fair amount of hit points compared to, you know, like the spiders here and everything. Nothing too bad though. Then we have the skeleton knights, just gonna tank a bit. Wow, got poisoned again, and there was my cat again. Like I said, she tends to, you know, complain about a lot of things. Fat little kitty. So let me just cure poison and torchlight. I urgently need some higher magic points because recasting torchlight every single hour is getting a bit annoying. Fortunately, we did put quite a few points into the air magic skill, so now it lasts for I think 8 hours. And because we have an expert in air magic now, it also shows us items on the floor that will be marked with a sort of a blue dot or square on the minimap, which is really nice because sometimes they sort of allow you to find hidden doors because you will always see loot even behind walls. So if, for example, you see a wall and then you see loot behind it, chances are that that wall is actually a secret door. That's a nifty thing. And once we get to master ranking in air magic, we will actually be able to sort of see those walls. No, I think turn-based mode is actually much easier. I stopped at a really bad point though, because if I'm just auto-attacking them with my arrows, all the arrows basically hit the floor and I deal no damage. Let the arrows hit the floor. Let the arrows hit the floor. I actually don't like that song at all. I think it's really boring. Don't know why I sang it though. But this is pretty much it. You know, it's a chillax dungeon. Nothing special. Some spiders, some undead, some weird priest cultists. You know, standard things. Let's see. Magical brew, magic resistance. Magical brew, magic resistance. Magical brew, magic resistance. Magical brew, magic resistance. Magic resistance is actually resistance to, I think, earth magic? I think magic is usually earth magic, because earth magic spells are either physical or magic damage, which sounds weird, but you know, air magic spells are mostly air damage. I don't get the idea as well. If anyone gets the idea, please tell me. I'll much appreciate it. No, it seems as if my aggro marker is flaring up a bit, and I'm not too sure where someone is supposed to be, but you know, I'm not gonna care too much. Torchlight one more time. Clear out the third thing. So we'll have like 4 caverns here, and each cavern is filled with a different mixture of mobs. For example, this one is filled with basically skeletons only. Yeah, I think turn-based mode is actually a fair amount easier, as you can see. Is anybody else coming? No? It's not. Keeping an eye on the minimap? Nope. Everybody's deaded. So yeah, I guess if you have... Oh! There we go. The Acolytes of Baa. Now they are all actually ranged units. And the sort of the highest tier unit, I think it's the Priest of Baa. It's actually fairly strong in terms of HP and, you know, the damage that it can deal. So I don't want to be turn-based moding here in front of everybody. I'd rather be just strafing or running towards them and just bullying them down. Hand-to-handing them down. Whatever you want to call it. Ouch, 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 ouch. So these basic ones are quite frail actually. There are some skeletons behind me, so I'm just going to turn around and shoot at them. Recast Torchlight again, and I'm getting surrounded. Very good. And by that I mean not good at all, of course. And I think I basically cleared out more or less every single ranged unit there is here. I should remove this because he... Oh! I completely forgot I had heroism and bless. Have cure wounds and cast blast. There we go. That should be way easier to just kill them. So yeah, heroism and bless are incredibly useful spells. Also an incredibly potent combination. Because I'm actually focused on trying to, you know, talk while I play this, it's actually really weird because I completely forget, you know, the things that I'm supposed to do, or the things that I've been doing, or what's good to do here, or casting spells, things like that. It's weird. I still have to get used to it, but I'm enjoying myself quite a lot, I have to say. This is something that I wanted to do for myself for a long time, but always check pots. Wow, that was hard for me to say. Because pots have food in them, and sometimes you can actually find rings. They won't be worth too much, but you know, every little thing is good to have. You can also check these trash heaps, but there's also a chance that you'll get diseased. You do have a fairly good chance to get fairly good items though. And if you have, for example, the Cure Disease spell, I would actually recommend you checking them out for some quick loots. Because yeah, you can actually get some fairly nice items from them. But I don't have the Cure Disease potion, so I'm not going to actually bother with it. Oh, there we go. Poisoned again. Oops. Cure poison. There we go. There we go. It's amazing that now that I've cast Blast, even though that, you know, Blast doesn't actually have any effect on my range chance to hit, I actually have a feeling that I hit a lot more often. Not afraid to tank some damage because the spiders don't do terrible amount of it. Well, not enough spell points. Oh no, now I remember. I had something that was of mana on her. Oh. Boop. That would be incredibly useful this time. I don't have it though. Luckily we have just enough spell points to cast Cure Poison twice and now rest. There we go. So I know, well, not that I know, but I know of a lot of people that didn't like the game because they thought that the resting mechanic in this game was kind of cheaty. Um, I'll give it to them in some ways because it is a bit cheaty in the sense that you can just, you know, backtrack, for example, a few steps and then just rest, and you're basically fine as long as they don't have any debuffs on you. But in my opinion, it makes the game a lot more enjoyable because you don't have to backtrack every single time your party gets, I don't know, you know, loses their mana and everything. So I guess it's just a point of view. I myself like it. Some people thought it was cheaty and didn't sort of like the game because it was fairly, like Might and Magic 6 was fairly controversial in the sense that it was the first Might and Magic game that was not entirely turn-based and grid-based. If anybody is familiar with Might and Magic 1 through 5, you'll know that the earlier installments of the game are actually, you're basically locked on a grid with your characters and it's turn-based only, so it's sort of like, you know, I don't know, like chess. The newer games that had the same mechanics or gameplay are, for example, Legend of Grimrock and Might and Magic 10 Legacy, which I myself, well, I must say I didn't like it too much. It was okay, but I got bored of it really quickly. In contrast to like Might and Magic 6, 7, and 8 that I actually still play really often. So I'm gonna end the first part of this abandoned temple here, or temple. This one isn't abandoned actually. Even though if it was me, I would have abandoned it long ago. I mean, skeletons and spiders, not really. But anyway, I'm gonna end this episode right here, and I'll see you guys in the next episode when we'll be actually finishing it up. Bye, guys.